So the end result on this is the seller is out all of their money and the item and still could risk getting a ding to their account. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to talk about an issue that we just had. Now, the whole point of reselling is to make some money. You want to find something out in the wild, you're going to hunt it down, spend some time, purchase it hopefully after you researched it and know that it's going to get you some money, list it, photo it, all that stuff, get it up online, somebody finally sees it, they buy it after it's been up for a long time, and then you just throw it in a box, don't wrap it, and then mail it out that way, and boom, I hope everything's going to be fine. I see that quite often. We're going to show you an item that we got in the mail, something we had ordered. It's something that ties to my wife's collectibles like Weebles. Now this is something probably nobody out there's probably seen or has a clue what this is. This is from Argentina. It was available down in Costa Rica and some other areas. This is a knockoff of Weebles. They didn't have a license. They produced similar items. My wife's a big, huge collector on it, so we buy stuff from all over the globe. We've got other items from Topi Toys, which made actual licensed Weebles, as well as some of these knockoffs. This is from the 70s. It was up online for probably a year, and we finally sent an offer. He had lowered the price, a little bit. So anyway, now we paid the money. I think all told with shipping and everything, it was $54 and some change to get this sent in. Now, what the wife actually wanted were the Weebles themselves. Now, if you're into toys and you know some lines of toys, they'll reuse vehicles. They'll use them for different toy lines. They did it with Mego and Star Trek and many other things. They just repurpose one thing to be used for something else. A lot of these vehicles are from other companies. They do knockoffs, and then they pop out one of these toys here. Now, the problem with this one here is the buyer didn't protect the items at all. No bubble wrap, nothing at all was protected on the inside. Just a thin cardboard box to travel from Argentina all the way up almost to the Canadian border. So if that gives you an idea on distance. The box is probably much worse than it was in the photos. It's got a lot of damage, again, because it wasn't well protected. Even the inside item itself was just thrown in a bag. This is the whole inside packing on this. So it bounced around in the box and did some damage to it. I'll tell you the end result here in just a minute on how it all went at the end of the day once I contacted the seller. But the biggest problem with it, they did not protect any of the items inside the actual box. So these bounced around all over, and every single one has damaged and pretty much destroyed the collectible value of these, because these hats were permanent. They're part of the actual figure. That was part of the uniqueness. It was different. They tried to avoid any copyright issues, but basically they're a Weeble. It's the same plastic. It has weight in the inside and the whole works. Same size. The Weebles will actually fit in the vehicle that they came in, so it's very clearly a knockoff from there. It would have been a neat item to add to the collection. Now what we have is a bag full of broken little tiny bits from all four of them were damaged. Now, the box was damaged some. The only thing that really didn't sustain any damage was the actual vehicle itself. But again, that wasn't what we were looking for. We wanted the figures for it. The gentleman had another one from the same lineup as well. Told him we're probably not going to get it. Now, I did send him a nice, hey, we just got this in. You didn't protect the inside. All the items, all the figure hats were all busted up. I offered him a photo or whatever he wanted. There's no chance I'm going to have another one of these to fake it. So, I wasn't trying to get anything other than the item. Told him we would probably, when the wife came home, so chances are we'd open up a return on it, just because the condition now is not what it showed and he didn't protect it. A few minutes later, literally, he responded and said, I'll take care of it. I'll refund you. And then literally maybe an hour later, so from the time of that conversation, he did. He refunded his entire complete purchase. Don't send it back. It's yours. The whole works. We wanted the item for a collectible. My wife was going to shelf it. She's got a bunch of other ones from many different countries, and it was another piece to add in. So if you don't pack it properly, what happened in this case, the buyer lost all of his money. He didn't have to. He could have just taken it back, but now that they're broken, it's not probably worth taking it back. It was up for a year. So again, the year is not the issue. The issue is that it wasn't well protected. This item survived 50 years maybe, in okay condition. You know, the figures were still nice, the paint's there, the box was still with it after 50 years. And then it's totally blown out and destroyed because of lack of attention to boxing it correctly. You wasted all the time, all the money, all the effort, so you're losing the fees, you're losing this, and you could get bad feedback as well. You know, obviously I didn't even get the chance to open up the return. He did refund it. I could still leave feedback on him. I'm not going to do it. He did the right thing. I'm happy with at least the outcome. We would have rather had the item than the money. That's just the way it is with a collector. Now, 95% of the investment of your time into selling something is already done the minute it sells. All that stuff's already been done. It's been listed, it's been photoed, you've sourced it, you've identified it, you listed it, and all the other stuff. All you got to do is pack it. If you're going to blow the packing, the last 5% of the effort you have to do to get the money out of something, why are you reselling? Everything you mail out is a treasure to someone. Again, I surely would have rather had, as the wife would, the items undamaged, as opposed to the money. We wouldn't have sunk money into something if we didn't want the item. This was $54 that this person's going to be out. He's out the original shipping cost, which from Argentina to here was like $24, almost half of the value of the item that we purchased. So you can't recoup that. You're just out that money. So the end result is spend an extra couple minutes to wrap the item correctly. If it's inside of a box and there's loose items in there, those can all get damaged. The box itself can get damaged. The item could pop through the box. Other things could get broken in the box. So you always cushion everything, even if it's inside a display box or any type of box. I've got videos showing how to properly pack many different items here. That's the biggest part of the entire deal, is making sure it's packed correctly, because that's where your bottleneck's going to be. That's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you with feedback potential. You could lose the money, your reputation, a ding on eBay, whatever the case may be. There's no upside for you packing poorly. Everything's a downside from there. Before it sells, if you mess something up, you can fix pretty much anything. But once it sells, that's the hardest 5% of any sale that you have. Pack it properly. Treat it like it's a Fabergé egg or something. Every single thing you ship. I don't care if it costs $5 or $150 someone bought it for. I'm going to ship them both the same regardless. Everything should have that attention to it. Maybe to this person it was a $20 profit, $15 profit. They just wanted to throw it in a box and waste as little time on it as they can. You can't run a successful business with that philosophy. Every customer is important. There is no such thing in my book as a low-valued buyer. They're a buyer from me. And again, I treat every item with the same utmost respect. I mean, again, this thing sat around somewhere for a very long time and survived all of that just to be roughhoused in packaging, in the shipment of it. Something you'll never find again, probably like this. They don't show up. There probably wasn't many of them made in the first place for many of them to show up. Now, I know the money's important too, but the biggest issue to me personally would be the feedback. I wouldn't want some bad feedback stating that I improperly handled some mega collectible or something like that. If there's diehard collectors and you have some really expensive piece and there's feedback that says poorly shipped in your comments in there, that's going to hurt you. They're going to wonder if it's safe to order an item from you because you've got comments that say you don't ship very well. If there's something loose in the box, you've got to fill that space. You've got to wrap it, even if it's inside the box, even if it slides inside somewhere else. I never keep loose items rubbing against each other. I always try and wrap them up inside, even if I'm just using tissue paper. The seller in this case could have saved him a lot of grief just by one sheet of tissue paper wrapped around the figures and then they were placed inside the box. So that's just a quick lesson on why you need to wrap everything properly. Your reputation is at stake. Don't blow it over the last 5% of the deal. sell it, ship it properly, and be done. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
Ever watch kids play with Weebles? It's really something. Hey, hey, look at me and Weeble. Me and Weeble go all around. One day, kids pretend they're flying into Weeble Airport. Next day, they play around the Weeble Cottage. Or if it's real nice, they go out to the Weeble Marina and go fishing. Hey, hey, look at me and Weeble. The Weebles waddle, but they don't fall down. Romper Room makes Weeble toys.